In this video, how hard is it to fit a starter motor to a smart Fortwo? I'm not sure I'm going to like the answer, but let's find out together. This is going to be an interesting experience. My friend Matt is going to be lending me a hand, and we're going to dig in and find out just how difficult this is. Let's show you where the starter motor is. So here is the engine, engineered by Mercedes-Benz, and the starter motor is kind of about there, down there. So access is impossible unless you drop the engine or the subframe. So we're going to be doing one of those two. I believe it is possible to kind of tilt it a bit just to get enough access to get in there and get the starter motor out. So that's what we're going to be aiming to do. Going to have to get all the rear bodywork off to aid access, because I think you need to disconnect some of the suspension arms so you can leave the suspension on the floor and jack the car up. That's the theory. Let's see how it actually goes. Well, that bit wasn't too difficult. Now we can see my slightly crispy exhaust, but I think it is actually still solid. And try and work out what to do next. I have a feeling we have to disconnect these arms. I may have to watch a tutorial. Well, there we go, we're up in the air, got the wheels off. Now we need to work out how to undo the engine mounting on this side and where it is. Everything is caked in mud. I think someone had a bit of fun with this car at some point, razzing it around a field or something. So that's going to be fun. And then hopefully we can just tilt the engine down enough to get a bit of access. Well, we're a bit thwarted at the moment because this is a brand new set of sockets that I bought when we went to try and collect the Smart, and already I seem to have lost the E18. Although actually, oh no, it's 16. So 16 is the biggest, we need an 18 because we really need to get these undone to enable us to drop everything. I've got the intercooler fan out. One of the few tasks we can do without dropping the engine, but yeah, a bit stuck for the moment. Well, I think we're starting to get somewhere. We've had to call in some favours and requests for help with tools, including my new landlords, who thankfully are car people, had the missing E18 socket that we desperately needed to undo the subframe mounts. I've got them all turning, we've got a jack under there, so hopefully now we can undo them and lower the subframe just enough to get some access. So fingers crossed. The front mount is leaking water and isn't very keen to come undone, perhaps because it's been full of water. Triumphant moment. It has been a considerable battle for three of us, but the intercooler scoop that goes in this area is finally out, and we think, oh no, there's 3 bolts down there, maybe it isn't those bolts. We're now trying to work out where the starter motor bolts are, because we can almost see the starter motor. That is it, I think. The camera is struggling to focus on it because we can see it so badly. So I think it may be these top 2 bolts, but you want to be certain about that before you start randomly undoing them. Well, this is the biggest load of rubbish ever. We're about 4 hours in. We've got the subframe dropped. We've swapped the front bolts, sorry, the back bolts to the front for a bit of security. We've got axle stands under the arms as well. So you can see we've managed to lower everything, but it still gives no access whatsoever. Aircon compressor completely in the way. And the starter motor, we still can't really see the starter motor. There it is, with a label on it. These are the bolts we think that hold it in place. But we can't get the wiring to disconnect the wiring, and even then we're like, how do you get it out? There's aircon pipes and coolant pipes and everything all in the way. Oh, that must be what they're on about, coolant pipes over the starter motor. Marvellous. But yeah, I still can't even feel the wiring connectors on the back of it. Stupid design. I've now got coolant draining because you have to disconnect these hoses to get access, but we do seem to have a starter motor that's free. The next question is how on earth do we get it out of there? Answers on the postcard. And how do we get the new one in? It feels like the water pump is entirely in the way. The job that just keeps on giving. Somehow, it's out. That has been an ordeal. We had to remove the outlet off the water pump in the end. There was just enough room. But we're going to have to call this quits because we're kind of running out of day. At this point, it's beautiful sunlight, but it's getting on for 7 o'clock at night now. So I think we're going to pack up and revisit this one. My voice is going. And here's the cars that have been helping today. Bye! Yes, it's the other Yugo Sana. That was Matt who helped us organise Rustival. And Craig here helped us with the marshalling on the day as well. Very mean and moody Volvo. I'm not going to film in parking, that's cruel. Well, welcome to day 2 of starter motor replacement on a Smart. The joyous job that keeps on giving. It's time to fit the new one. So here is our new starter. Down there is where it lives. Let's crack on and then we can get the subframe back up. I think that should be fun. And see if it'll actually start. Alright, so stage we're at the moment. The starter motor is in and bolted in. The water pipe is reconnected up, or water pipes variously. Now I'm about to put the aircon compressor back in place. And if you were wondering where you top up the coolant, we've got brake fluid and screen wash in this side, and the coolant is just down there in the dark. So we can top the coolant up there. Hope we don't get any airlocks at the back here. It's quite a long run, but I think once we've got it up and running, we can try and park it on a steep hill and encourage the air to move forwards. We'll see how we go. Apparently there is a temperature sensor somewhere around here at the top, and you can sort of ping it out and use that as an air bleed, but it sounds a bit fraught with danger to me, so we'll see how we go with burping hoses and parking her nose up. The good thing about digging in this much is you can find issues, like this little vacuum pipe has got a split in it. It comes up here and plumbs in exactly where the air intake is, so presumably it does something quite important, but not while it's got a really great split in it. But thankfully this coolant pipe from the Daihatsu Charade is about the same diameter, so I'm going to cut a section out and we'll use that. Never throw anything away. While we've been trying to put the car back together, Mini Hubner has been here dismantling the old starter motor for no better reason than why ever not. What have you found?
It's slightly melted.
Yeah, this that's seen some action.
Yeah.
So, not ideal. A common Smart problem, alternator seizes and then the starter motor burns out, because when you turn the key, it isn't like an older car where you turn it and turn it off and it stops. It does like a 5-second burst where it keeps trying to turn. So I think what's happened is just burnt the starter motor out. In theory, you could probably replace this bit and get it rebuilt. We're not doing that, we're just fitting a second-hand one, hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Oh, while I remember, if you're finding the rear subframe won't lower, check you've taken the handbrake off, because it doesn't want to drop if the handbrake's on. If you release it, there's just enough play in the cables that you can then drop the subframe. And got something else to show you too. It's basically that everything is on flexes. So the brake system, you can see down there, we've got flexible pipes bringing the fluid to the subframe, and then it splits off on hard pipes, but the hard pipes are all attached to the subframe. So you've got plenty of play there. Coolant and aircon lines have all got plenty of play in them again, just to enable you to drop it down to get some access. So Matt's managed to get the aircon compressor back on. We'll refit the belts and then we can start thinking about getting this subframe back up again. Although we've got to remember what to do this side, because it's a pain in the arse cowling. Needs refitting at some point, and we want to make sure that point isn't before the subframe goes up. I'm struggling to remember even why we needed to remove all that. Oh yes, it was to gain access. All that work was to gain access to these two bolts. So you have to remove the intercooler and all the ducting and even the intake we took off in the end, just to get at those two bolts. That sort of a job. Well, a couple of hours in, we're pretty much ready to lift the subframe again. All the belts are back on. We've got the intercooler back in. I've given the intercooler a bit of a clean. Almost all the pipe work. We're missing one bit of pipe work, and we'll hope that'll clamp down on this somewhat mangled thing on the inlet manifold, and then yeah, we should be there. I found my exhaust leak, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's this silencer right here. A little bit of weld needed on that, I suspect, but easy to get to. You can get the rear bumper off quite easily. We're just swapping the bolts around at the moment, so we've taken this big long one out of the front. It was our security bolt, and we're going to be jacking it up so we can get that back in here. It's a very long bolt. And Matt is just refitting the correct front bolt. Right, up we go. Bit more.
Yep. Bit more.
That's getting nice and close, and now we should be able to get the front one out this side.
Fantastic.
Okay then, it's kind of a moment of truth time. We've jacked the subframe back up. That's all bolted in. Everything is connected. It should be connected. We have surprisingly few fasteners left, most of them for bodywork. So I'm going to put the key in. Actually no, I'm going to unlock the car. Otherwise I'll get upset. There's the fuel pump. Runs and starts. They always do that, by the way. Even the Roadster seemed to do that. I'm not going to start. And then it did. So that's pleasing. Marvellous. We might let it get up to temperature so we can just bleed through the cooling system. I'm still ill. Okay then, we've just filled up with petrol. The engine still starts, that's good. We've had a few issues on the way here though. The boost seems very variable. Sometimes it's like full on, wahey, and other times it feels like it's gone into a sort of limp mode. We ran diagnostics and saw nothing at all. So let's see what happens now. That feels pretty good, I would say, but we'll see whether it remains the case. But it's certainly nice to actually be driving the Smart after all this time. Huge thanks to Matt Pink for coming and helping, and for Craig helping on day one as well. Could not have done it without them. Essential buddies, and just helped me keep in the right sort of headspace. It wasn't just the mechanical skills both of them brought along, it's the fact that they just kept me calm as well. The Nissan L Grand in front of us is making some very horrible smells, which is a worry. I thought they had V6 petrol engines, but yeah, we'll see how it goes, because like I say, it has been going a bit limp mody. We're in 6th gear at the moment. Feels pretty good. Very nice with the roof back. Nice amount of buffeting, not too much. But yeah, it is just nice to be driving it. We'll put some miles on. Well, it's just done it again, I think. Yeah, it's just done it again. So my foot is flat to the floor and we're struggling to do 55 miles an hour. I don't know what's doing that. I would like to know where the hose on the very top of the engine, it looks like it's part of the oil breather, or, where that should go. I don't think it is part of the breather. I think it sits near it. There is a big breather pipe, but something is clearly not right, and turning it off and on again must reset it. Let's see if that works again. I don't need to ping it down, because when we come to a stop it'll automatically go back into first gear. Neutral, engine off. Restart engine. First gear, check we're still clear behind us, we are. Hold the boost. You can hear the little wastegate flutter. You probably can't hear it, but it does flutter away. Yeah, very strange. So we got enough power for an overtake, but then it kind of run out. Interesting. We're just gonna have to see how it goes, I think, but yeah, very glad to be driving the little Smart. We'll put some miles on, we'll see if it improves, but nice to finally be there. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget you can head to the Hubnut store and buy lovely merch. We haven't got any Smart merch yet, but maybe one day. And we'll see you in a future video. Farewell. It's the day after, and as you can see, it's pouring with rain now. I've got my little convertible back on the road, but there's exciting news just to tack on the end of this video, which is that we're going to Bewley Spring Auto Jumble. I'm not sure what car yet. It might be Ellie, right here behind me. I'm just sifting through all the stuff. These fit a Reliant Fox, and presumably also therefore Viva HB. Little slot mags. We've got a Fiat Multiplus sump, a quite knackered air filter for a Land Rover 90 V8, and I don't even know what that one's for. I think it might actually be for a Subaru. Giselle's old alternator. We've got some random old stereos. We've got the speedometer from a City Rover. Not even the same as the City Rover we had. We are starting to sift through the mountain of rubbish that so many people commented on in the Matiz video. So you can buy this stuff at Bewley Spring Auto Jumble. It's this weekend, and I look forward to seeing you there. Bye.